Okay, so it's almost 6:30 p.m. Sunday, 21st of July 2024. So remember yesterday I did a video concerning this car where the AC was not working, so I had to take it to. I actually parked the car for how many weeks? I knew it was more than 30 days. So the AC stopped working. I knew it was a leakage. It based on the symptom, the way before it stopped working. So I left the vehicle. I don't like driving the car without AC. So now I took it there yesterday. Did the AC repair. I'm going to. If you don't know, if you want to watch the video of the repair I did, uh, you just check back. You see one or two, probably the last two videos I published before this. Oh, by the way, as I opened this today, which is Sunday, the next day I saw these tools there. I think it was left by the technician that did the AC repair. So let me keep it for him. I'll let him know that I have to start. By the way, these are the parts replaced, the seals replaced before the AC. Hopefully, it no longer leak again the gas. So, so this today Sunday. Once I bought one, went back home and parked the car. Before I switched off the car, suddenly it started to misfire. Man, so that's one of the price of you have to pay to drive any Peugeot car with this engine. Kind of annoying. So I didn't even bother. I just scanned the car, and unfortunately, it showed cylinder 6, which is here. Man, I was pissed off. I was hoping that it would be among the first 3 cylinders in front, but it says cylinder 6. And from the scan result, it has to be most likely the connectors on the ignition coil or the spark plug, maybe. Man, this engine. I remember the last time I did it, was it 2 months ago, if I'm not mistaken, or thereabouts. It was cylinder 5. And you know, our turning chain is to get to any of the cylinders behind, you have to remove this stake manifold. So many things, all these, a lot of things have to come out before you can access the spark plug and the injectors on that cylinder. So let me just do it, even though it's almost 6:35 p.m. Sunday. So I'll just do it. What I'm going to do is to get access to the cylinder 6 spark plug and coil. I'm not going to touch the injector. I know it's not the injector. I was actually expecting it yesterday. I kind of felt why engine is at idle, kind of shaking a little bit. It wasn't misfiring. So when eventually the misfire now popped up this afternoon, I was like, well, I wasn't surprised, but I was just hoping that if it was in the first cylinder, I'll easily deal with it. Okay, so that's what I'll do. I'll remove the spark plug cylinder 6, ignition coil cylinder 6, clean the spark plug, transfer one of the ignition coil and the spark plug on cylinder, the one of the cylinders in front, take them to the rear, put them here, and check the connector on the ignition coil, and I hope that will solve the problem. So let's start. I mentioned these are the tools needed. This is a feeler gauge to check the if possible the gap, the electro gap on the spark plug, if it's more than 1 mm or less. This is for 8 mm. Oh, I forgot the socket. I'm going to get it now. Normally I use this file to clean off on the spark plug, the part where the ignition coil sits on. Then this is for removing the spark plug on the cylinder head. Rag, RTV silicone gasket maker. This is for the intake manifold. Mine, the gasket has gone in. It's no longer kind of flattened. So I'm going to apply this, otherwise the misfire will come back and followed by limp mode. So it's almost dark, almost 7 p.m. So this is my torchlight. So I'm going to start by okay. So I'm going to start by removing this, and then take it from there. Alright. So I've removed the engine cover, the air filter box, and the intake air here, and also the tube. You need to be very careful when you are removing this tube, especially this one here, because if you are not careful as you are doing it, if you force it, it will break this vacuum line. Then it becomes a problem. Even this one too, if you're not careful, it will also crack here and create another vacuum leak. So then I've also disconnected the motorized auto body and also the vacuum line, the brake booster vacuum line here. So the next thing now is to remove the 4 8mm bolts here and another 3 here. There's another 3 here. This, and this. On the 4 here. Then the map sensor MAP is behind. For 607 and 406 V6 with this engine, you can actually disconnect the map sensor. There's enough space without removing the intake manifold. All you need is put your hand behind. But this one is going to be some trouble. Even though I know I can still do it from here, but if you are not careful, you might break this here. So what I usually do is I will lose this thing, then pull out the manifold. So once I push it out a little, I now have space to put behind to disconnect the map sensor. So that's the unfortunate thing about 407 V6. The engine bay is too small compared to 406 and 607 with this engine. Alright, so get to work. My camera, the battery is almost indicating sign of going off. So I may not be able to capture everything, so I'll try the best to show you guys at least towards the end of the work. Alright. Okay, so the intake manifold is out. A few more vacuum lines for you to remove. There's one here under the throttle body and this one on the intake manifold, this plastic line. So look at them. This is one. This one also be very careful, it breaks easily. So then this one, the one that comes from purge canister valve, this is it. So so this is the connector to the map sensor. Alright, so that's been disconnected. So this is the map sensor here, directly behind the manifold. It's not an issue for 406 V6 and 607 V6 with this ES engine, ES9J4S and ES9A. You can actually easily remove the manifold sensor, map sensor, without even removing the intake manifold. Yeah, there's enough space for you to lose it from behind, remove it, put another one, disconnect. However, for 407 V6, you can't, there's no space, so you must remove the manifold before you can even access the map sensor here. So, okay, now that this is out, the manifold is out. So what I usually do, once I remove it, this is the opening that for the map sense intake manifold. So I always get a rag, something like this. You can see this is 6 holes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I must cover this while working, because if you are working and anything falls inside here, wow, Trust me, guy, it might not be easy to get that thing out. If care is not taking me, I have to remove your cylinder head. So it's better I just block that place. Get just any rag or something, whatever. Cover it when you are done. Before you put the manifold, remove the rag, put it back. However, before you do that, you put it back. Make sure this place is clean. Even if you apply gasket maker before, clean it up, apply another one. If you have a means of getting this gasket, this is what I mean. Hold on. Okay. See this gasket? Consider this one. I've already applied the silicone gasket maker. If you have a means of getting that gasket, instead of using the silicone gasket maker, better. But man, not that easily available. I'm here to see a new one anyway, so I always use this gasket maker. Okay, so this is the cylinder 6. For those who don't know, this is how to count cylinder for this engine. Cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the cylinder 6. So meaning there's no way I could have accessed it until I remove the intake manifold, which is covering it. So what usually causes that problem is this connector. Most times, sometimes when I remove it, clean it up, remove the spark plug, clean it up, put it back, it goes away. Now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to swap the ignition coils with the spark plug, put it here, then put that tiny wire, flexible wire usually put, since be very careful, because if two of them touch each other, it's going to blow your engine ECU. So do it before I put it back. Okay, so I probably will just take one of the ignition coils and back one, swap with the coil, the spark plug and the coil. Maybe I'll use the cylinder too. Okay, let's use cylinder 1. Let's use cylinder 1. Take it here, put it there. The one that gave me issue before was this cylinder, the one in the middle, cylinder 5. This time cylinder 6. So I don't want to touch anyone there, so I won't go into this problem. So let's deal with the one that popped up. Since I've dealt with cylinder 1 before, cylinder 5. Cylinder 4 on this engine has never given me any misfire, if I'm not mistaken. It has already been cylinder 5, maybe 4, 6, and then some of the ones in front. So okay, so I'll keep you guys updated. So it's already dark, so I've switched to my touchlight. So this is the spark plug I removed with the ignition coil on cylinder 6. As you can see, I've removed the cylinder 1 ignition coil and the spark plug. And I've done the swap, so I mounted them here. So I've done that thing I talked about. Let me show you guys. I hope this will be able to show. You can see how I put the wires. But you have to be very careful. If you don't know how to do this, don't. I see the flexible wires, tiny. If you don't do it carefully, it's going to damage your engine ECU. Make sure both are not touching each other. None of the wires touching each other. Then now carefully slot it in. Okay, so it has gone in well now. As you can see, it has entered. Now it doesn't mean the connector is bad, actually. But I was like, since it's out anyway, so let me just do it. The ideal thing is to change the connector rather than doing this. But then it's hard to get a connector that has a thick wire enough for the ignition coil. Okay, so before I put this, this is the coil, no, the spark plug that and that cylinder that I removed. Kind of look like this has aged. But you know the funny thing, I've not actually replaced this spark plug since I bought this car. The reason why, because they were working, I was why bother with this, considering that the OEM is no longer available here in Nigeria. So I can as well leave it until it eventually fails before I can figure out what to put there. But there's one I've actually found, which I put in my 406, so I may eventually buy that one. It's a new aftermarket, it's not OEM, but so far it's serving my 406. Or what I could do is I could put those my 406 on here, because they are not actually bad. They're supposed to reach like 80 or 100,000 kilometers before replacement, but they've not gotten to that mileage. But I was like, why not just replace them anyway? So I can swap those ones in here on this car. Since they are still, at least I'll see in terms of quality, I will rate them higher than the new one I bought, which is not OEM. So that's why I still kept them. So that's probably what I'll do. But for the meantime, I'm going to put them here. Now this one I use for cleaning. That file I showed you guys. Look at it. I told you I have a file, so I use it to clean up this place, scrape this place a little bit. I've done it already. I'm just showing you guys. I use it, not necessary to fire it very hard. I just brush it a little, just for it to make good contact. There's a spring inside here, inside the coil. Just to make good contact there. Let's see whether it will be able to show it very well. It's not showing the spring, but the spring is there anyway. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm seeing it, but the camera is not. Okay, so just for it to make firm contact. Sometimes I use screwdriver like this on the coil. Just use it, put inside, rub on that spring inside, before I mount it. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I've already done this anyway. Oh, by the way, the gap was more than 1 mm. That's gone way off. So could be the cause of the misfire, maybe not. So this is my wrench. So that's what I'll do. Eventually I will have to once it misfires again, especially if this cylinder, if it does that misfire and I check and it's showing this cylinder 1, then I will change the spark plug, basically entire thing. If possible, okay, I need to drop this camera so I can range this thing and talk it very well. So next thing is update when it's time to mount the intake manifold, or after I must have mounted it. Alright. Okay, so everything is coupled now. It's 7:45 p.m. So that was approximately 1 hour job. It took me to do that. Okay, if I have gone to other cylinders, it would have taken me more time. So since okay, you could say 2 cylinders, because I have to remove this, put this, remove this, put this, clean the both spark plug, and now the RTV silicone gasket maker, I'm not so sure has dried up. But since it's air that passes through that manifold, though most times a little bit mixed with oil, it's not always that dry in terms of air. So, well, let's see if the misfire is gone. Alright. Hopefully. So if it comes back, if the misfire stays back, then I'll have to scan with PP2000. I'll know which cylinder. Then if it's that cylinder 1, then I'll have to change the spark plug of that particular one. What I'll do, I'll take one of the spark plug from the old one I removed on my 406 that are still good, 406 V6, put on that cylinder. If the issue is solved, then I'll now note and keep here, knowing that okay, it's only the cylinder 1 that I've replaced. So I'll make a time, then to now swap in the remaining spark plug, remove the other ones, Alright, so let's see. Okay, so far no misfire, engine is stable. We'll monitor okay, so the RPM, I want it to drop a little before I put on the AC. Oh, my camera battery is about to go off. Okay, let's see. So let me put on the AC. Okay, the AC is on now. So because what usually happens is the misfire usually is more pronounced with the AC running. So if the misfire is still there, then it will trigger it. Let's see. Oil temperature is still low, so I don't want to push it very hard. Okay, let's settle down, see if it will misfire. Okay. Let me reduce the load of the engine by switching off the AC. Okay. So let me try the acceleration again. Just a little bit, maybe 3,000. Let's see. Okay, no. Okay, that's enough. Can't go beyond that. The oil is still cold. Okay, the misfire is gone. Because that's what usually happens is if your engine is misfiring and you're not too sure when you start the car and it's not happening, what you do is put on the AC, especially for these ESC engines. If the misfire is still there, it will immediately trigger and they start. If it's not there, if it doesn't happen, accelerate the car a little bit harder. Then push it, press the accelerator, on or off, let it deaccelerate, settle down. Then if the misfire issue have not been solved, then it will start immediately. Well, you can see we tested it 2 times, and with AC or without AC, no more misfire. So it's solved. I didn't change any plugs, but I will observe as days goes by. If it comes back, then find out which cylinder, so that, remember, it's not cylinder 1 that I will be monitoring to know if the misfire will come back. So if it comes back there, I know the spark plug has to be dealt with. But notwithstanding, the spark plug, I don't even know the mileage it has covered. Like I said, they were all there when I bought the car. So, but because the OEM is no longer in the market, and there's no substitute or good alternative in Nigeria as far as these are concerned. So the option is to buy a used one, which is basically buying the same thing that is almost in the car. So I said, you know what, let me leave it until I know the symptom of very weak spark plug. Even when they don't misfire, your engine power will be dropping on higher acceleration. So it hasn't happened yet. Or even if it's happening, not that pronounced. So, and also it can start to cause misfire if your spark plugs are weak. From the look of things, they have aged. They started showing sign of they've been run for a long time, but they're actually supposed to last up to 100,000 kilometers. So I don't know. I know I've not gotten the car. It's driven it up to 100,000 kilometers since I got the car. So I don't know how long they've been there, but I'll start working towards replacing them. Since there's another aftermarket, seems to be it works, but of course I don't expect it to serve as long as the OEM, but at least maybe I can swap in that one. Or, like I said, the old one that I bought brand new at that time, my Force is OEM. Use it for a while. I'm not sure it has covered 50,000 kilometers or thereabout. I now swap and put the other new one. What happened was, there was a time one of the spark plug misfired. Eventually I was like, let me just change it. But then, but I bought the new one and removed that particular one that caused that misfire. Clean the connector, put it back. The misfire went away. So I was like, I've already made the purchase of the new one. I used the old one for like 1 week. One day I was like, you know what, let me just put the new one. New one will always be better, even though it's not the correct OEM. It's not actually the OEM. So I kept them. That's why I didn't throw them away. So they are still good. So most likely they will serve here. So let's observe again, starting and going off, to be sure the misfire is finally gone. If this camera goes off, it means if you don't hear anymore, it means the camera battery has gone off. So let's see. I want to start the car again, see what it behaves. Okay, so yeah, the xenon light works very well. Yeah, of course, it won't show until even when I steer the vehicle, because this car has a directional xenon light. The car has to be in motion for the headlight to start to turn with the steering wheel. So if it's stationary, it will not make that move. Okay, so that brings it to the end of this fixing cylinder 6 misfire issue on Peugeot 407 Coupe V6 manual. All right.